Okay, but out of these characters, we have Soul, Kai, Ram. Thank God this is not in the game. Hey, let's start getting people to hate me as soon as possible. Thank God he's not in the game. Goodbye for now. Emphasis on for now, because I feel like in my heart she's gonna be in the game. No sin, the killer of the degenerates. No, yes. Yes. We have to go through this again. We got to go through this again. The no bike and no buy again. We have to go through that again. Goodbye forever. Holy shit. Goodbye forever. He's in the game. He's taking a rest. Thank God. But also, no, honestly, fuck it. No, fuck him. I'm saying it. I'm that guy. She barely made it. Barely. Eno slipping in at last place right there. Dizzy, I feel like it's a matter of time. He's in the game. Please rest forever. I mean, he literally has to rest, so he's in a bed. Please rest forever. Okay, if she comes out, this might be main territory, just because I feel like her character concept is so much stronger in a game like Strive than the current Guilty Gear that we have. And then yeah, you could take a break. Okay, that's where we start. There's also two characters, of course, that are not here. There is Nagoriyuki and there is Giovanna. So obviously I'm gonna do them last. I might do them like super last. So one, this is only to help you if you haven't played the series before, so you don't know what the characters do, or if you have but you don't know who to play. There are some of you who have already made up your mind on who to play, and this is not going to change your mind at all, and just stick with them anyway. This is something to help you if you have a character crisis, I guess. Okay, so Soul and Kai. These guys are like your normal guys of the game. They're like two sides of the same coin. No. Yeah, I said that right the first time. Two sides of the same coin. So they're both kind of like mid-range fighters, but they go about it a different way. Where Kai is more of like your more stable, super traditional, like mid-range neutral player. Soul likes to play mid-range and closer, where Kai likes to play mid-range and further, unless he's like here, you know, doing the thing that Kai likes to do. Soul is really close to his previous version. He has a couple things that he does not have in Exert. Primarily, this is it close slash or far slash? One of his slashes are plus. He moves in a really similar way. His plan is pretty simple. He gets in your face, and his pressure is too. This thing I'm gonna say is a really common theme in Guilty Gear. Like the options he has when he's rushing you down are too fast generally for the defender to react to. So you gotta like do something, and if he calls you out, he's gonna do a really big combo. Big important buttons are gonna be far slash. Yeah, far slash is a +1, right? So in Exit, far slash is Strive. Far slash is gonna be plus. That's just crazy. He's got some good mid-screen control in like Gunflame. He's got the jump heavy. The legendary jump heavy. Maybe it has recovery in Strive, actually, I don't know. But this has 0 frames of recovery. It's 2 hits. It's really easy to hit confirm. The 5k anti-air. He has good defense. Got this DP that generally can't be option selected very easily. And when he does it, whether or not he RCs, he has like a follow-up on it that you could delay. It takes a little practice / labbing to see whether or not you could do something about it. He's a pretty simple character, so beginners like him, but at the same time you don't see him that much in high level play, and it's actually because of something you talk about with Broly, right? The thing that stops you from just blocking all day is he has this command grab wild throw. So in this game you get to do a combo off it. So here's my really shitty I don't play Soul combo. Yeah, I don't play Soul. This should do way more damage. But in Strive, basically a nuke goes off when he does this, and your fucking life bar melts. So this is like a 3-frame command grab, I'm pretty sure. And Broly is a 17-frame command grab. But the idea of like the command grab character is hard to use in tournaments is like a Soul pot. It's like a Guilty Gear idea, where it's pretty hard. The idea is like in a 2 out of 3. I mean, definitely JP format's first to 1, right? But in a 2 out of 3, it's pretty hard to like condition somebody to just like get this, you know what I mean? And if you're wrong, you die, type of thing. In this game specifically, Guilty Gear, characters have like just really safe 50/50s most of the time. So him having to rely on like this, or at least like use this so readily, is like pretty tough. But when you're right, the dopamine feels good. So if you like If you like that, if you like pressing buttons because he's got good buttons, and honestly, he's better in Strive, I think, than in this version, then he's a good choice. Kai, like I said, is a more traditional mid-range style. He's got your fireball. He's got mid-range pokes. A lot of his buttons are the same. If you didn't get to play the closed beta of Strive, I'm sorry, because he was fucking lit in that, and they nerfed him a lot in the open beta. But he is similar to Soul, except like you're doing this in mid-range and not like so much close. When he's close, he's using frame traps and trying to set up throws and stuff. When you're far, you're using your superior buttons and space to keep them away. Normally, Kai has better Oki than Soul. Okay, so he normally has like this type of stuff. It seems that in Strive, you just get pressure. You don't really get mix right now. There's no like this style of thing. You know, there's none of that. So we'll see what happens as far as Oki. Normally, Kai does have better Oki than Soul. Normally, Soul is mostly like safe jump type of stuff. He's got like some character specific things, like he can fuzzy Eddie, for example, just for like a random thing to say. And he just safe jumps you and just goes for his pressure for the most part. He might also do meaty gun flame too, but normally Soul's straight up like 50-50 Oki is not as strong as like Kai's. But they're pretty similar characters, and if you're looking for a beginner character, these two are like a really, really good place to start. Okay, so here we got Mei and Zato. This is how you play her, okay? This is exactly how you play her. Don't be afraid. She's a charge character, okay? I don't want people to get scared by the fact she's a charge character. She is one of like the least charge characters that have ever existed. Maybe Mitsuru is the only one that's less of a charge character that has a charge move. So what do you do? How do you play Mei? I'm going to teach you how to play Mei and charge at the same time. So step 1, you press this button. You do Rising JS, right? That's step 1. When you do Rising JS, you could do a couple of things. Okay? You could double jump and do it again. You could air dash forward and do SH, or you could air dash back and hit H. Okay? If you air dash back and hit H, hold back. Okay? Okay? Hold back. Boom. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're already holding back. I believe in you. If you want it to be even easier, you could just jump back and hold back, and then you're already charging. Another thing that you could do too, let's say you do this. Anytime you land on the ground, you should press this move. I actually don't know how good it is. It's Stripe, by the way. But you should press this move, and you're definitely charging. And whether or not this hits, you do the dolphin anyway. Oh, and then when you do the dolphin, if it touches them, you have to hold back while you're doing it so that you can do it again and again and again until they fucking do something about it. And then in Strive, I don't know if they changed this yet, but apparently the H dolphin is plus in Strive. So you can just do H dolphin and then dolphin again. There you go. Boom. So if you want to really just press buttons and you're not trying to take the game seriously at all, you could play Mei. You just jump around and press S all day. You press S and H, and if it hits, you do a combo. And during every button you press, you just hold back. And as soon as you land, you do dolphin. You dolphin until someone stops you. Boom. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. And then if for some reason you don't have a dolphin on deck, you either sit and wait for the dolphin, or you do 2D over and over, because this move is fucking impossible to fucking whiff punish. This move is literally, I should have mentioned Soul 2D, for example, but like, Mei is too easy to meme. The truth is though, like she jumps a lot. She has really good buttons, and you get in her face and you press buttons. I can't. Mei is you press buttons and you do a lot of damage. There's nothing else to say. If you like buttons and you like damage and you like lowlies, even though she's not one, I know there's always a main player who's ready to be like, Elka, listen, she's not a lowly, Elka. There's always that guy. Actually, in Exerd, she has a lot of complex stuff. Like, you can play her really simply in the Mimi way I'm talking about. Or you can get into the really nitty-gritty of using, like, she has these mines that she could use. She's got dolphin cancels, all this stuff. In Strive, they took all that out. So now you just do this. She has returned to her pure roots of pressing buttons. Now, Zato is if you want to do something that's easy in a really hard way, you play Zato. Because Zato's plan is actually pretty simple on the real. Zato's plan is you want his buddy, his name is Eddie. Look at him cross him up. Look at that movement. Okay, but this is your goal. You want them to block somehow, and then you just run your pressure. The issue is you have to do it with 2 characters, and you have to control the second character manually. I think they did stuff to make controlling the second character, your little shadow, a little bit easier, but managing the 2 is really, really important because he has good moves. So he's got like 2S. Listen, and by the way, every fucking Zato player tries to say this move's not good. Fuck him. I respect this character. I hate when they say his buttons are not good. It actually drives me off the wall. Like when they say this is not good, for example, or like this isn't that great, or like I'm like, bro, please don't do it to me. Please don't do it to me, dude. He's got some good ass buttons. If they're not good, why do you mash them so much? How about that? How about that? If the button wasn't good, you wouldn't press it. But they all press the buttons. They stay doing that. I like this character too. So actually in Exer, this move and moves like this do have a flaw. It's just a subtle flaw. Subtle. To be fair to them, right? That looks like it's been adjusted for in Strive a little bit. So you're going to be controlling space with Zato while using Eddie for support. That's the play. So the main weakness of Zato is a lot of his stuff has like a lot of recovery, or like he doesn't have defense. His defense kind of sucks, things like that. But when you combine this with using with using the shadow, now all of a sudden you have a lot of screen control, but you have to manage the 2 at the same time. That's probably the hard thing about it. So it's a simple concept. You're controlling space. The issue is he's basically edgy ice climbers. Like you have to control the shadow on your own. Fun character though. I actually fuck with him. He's cool. He's dope. Next we have Potemkin and Chipp. Easy character, but he can't move, he can't run, can't air dash. He can super jump, he can double jump, and he has the god backdash. He's a grappler, and he moves around the screen with both his normal walking and backdashing, slowly approaching, but he also has armor moves that he could use and other special moves that like go over stuff. Now in Strive, at least the last open beta, we don't know about this one yet, this move is way better. It's not punishable. I'm sorry. Not that it's not punishable. It's much more difficult to punish and deal with than before, and it has armor. So especially if you're a Dragon Ball FighterZ player and you don't like Broly, you're not going to like this move. He is a grappler, so you're going to aim to hit this move. We joke about how much damage it does in Strive right now, but like, to be honest, this shit always does mad damage. This shit always does a ton of damage. Like if I put him not healing, like he's not, I think in the last beta he would die in 2, but here he dies in like 3. Honestly, like look at that. It's not like it does that much more. Like one more he's dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this grab does do a lot of damage. Again, another super fast command grab. And it's the same type of thing. He's going to be, or your goal with him, I should say, is to get in their face and vary your offense, make them fear you, and use this to go for big damage. As far as getting in, I want to talk about that a little bit more too, because he's not very mobile. So if you are worried about like execution and stuff too, you know, he doesn't have like instant air dash and stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. But you'd have to take advantage of things like, so for example, slide head, which is a full screen low, I believe, in new version, and then like flick. This is anti-projectile. So he's got stuff. They gave him tools to deal with what the cast has, but because he's not mobile, it could be kind of hard to deal with. But the system also really helps you. Like you have a nice big fat guard bar compared to other characters, meaning it's harder to fill his guard bar than other characters. He's better at building meter than other characters naturally because he can't move. So he's got a lot of like low-key upsides for picking the character that can't move around and do a lot of damage. Now Chipp is the opposite, where one, the system doesn't like him, so his guard bar is really bad, as in he builds guard bar really fast, he builds meter really slow, but he's really fast. He's a ninja, woo, and he could jump 3 times. Woo, that's cool. That's cool. So his actual thing is that his moves, like the concept is that he's like kind of like a busted character, but if you hit him, as we saw before, his life bar is deleted. They took away a couple of important tools from him. The main one is this teleport. This is gone. They changed this so that now it's him literally, and he can get hit. They made a bunch of changes to him. If you like fast characters, this is the one for you. If you like ninjas, then I mean this is the one for you. Like most people, when they see Chipp, they know they're gonna play him, or they are like, no, there's no way. So let's move on to Faust and Axel. So Faust is the item throw character. Item throw characters are honestly, just the topic of this type of character deserves a video on its own. But Faust is maybe the first one in anime games, maybe the first one ever. So he has this move where he throws items randomly. The thing that's good about this is, it's never outright bad for him, the things he throws. It's at worst even generally, and usually good for him. When he throws this out, the game changes. Like now you're playing around that item, and he uses that to take advantage of. He takes advantage of the item to like rush you down, get combos he doesn't normally get, and set up really awkward situations. On top of that too, he's got really good range, really good range. And you remember something I said about Zato, where Zato, you work together with your shadow to control space, right? Faust, you work together with your items to control space and rush down, right? That's the main thing about him. In Strive, his items have changed, so I haven't memorized all the new items yet. His items have changed this time. I think he has one that actually, like, he gets punished. But it's Horn, right? Yeah, it's Horn. It's Horn is one. I think Afro is an even one. He's also a pretty easy character as well. Pretty intuitive, especially if you like controlling space in a pretty simple way. So I actually recommend him over some of the other characters. Like, for example, like Mei. Like, if you want to just press buttons, run around Mei, that's cool. I think, like, Faust engages... The way he engages with the game, like, both you as Faust and you versus your opponent, I think it's pretty interesting. So he's actually a character I highly recommend. Highly recommend. And then we have Axel. Axel, you guys all... Once upon a time, no one knew who he was. And then a little bussy man appeared, and now everyone knows who this character is. So he's another space control character. He is one of the most polarizing characters in the game. And when I say polarizing, it's matchup-wise. So he doesn't have a lot of, like, closest matchups. It's usually, like, he has a lot of he fucking destroys characters or he gets bodied by characters. I actually called him one of the best counterpick characters in Exert, actually. And I was considering learning him because some of his matchups, I'm like, dude, like, for example, like, fuck Jacko. Like, I'd rather play the 7-3 as Axel than play, like, the 5-5 or 5.5 as Millia. And when he beats a character, it's bad. Like, it's really bad because he's just walking away from you. I mean, you can't actually walk away because it's a negative penalty. But he legit, like, if you lose to him, it is not fun to lose this character. He is a defender. If you like characters like Dhalsim, you might like him, especially versions of Dhalsim that move quickly. I know like Dhalsim has gone through a lot of like iterations, but a lot of like the really fast versions of Dhalsim, you will like this character a lot because he has that energy of mixing in like preemptive pokes to control space, getting in. He has a pretty good offense on his own as well, and then also like playing like super lame if you want. How similar is he from Fairy? That's actually a pretty good question. He doesn't have the same level of Oki as all, and because this game has way more mobility, it can't be compared. Like, the main thing about Fairy is like the other characters at the time, especially at the time that I played, could not move the way she could move and could not control space the way she controls space. So other characters can control space like him. Other characters can move. There are characters like Chipp and Millia that like roll him over. Especially Millia with pin, right? Like Axel players hate Millia because, again, if a character stops you from doing what you want in Guilty Gear, then people really don't like it. Yeah, that was not a bad question. If you play like Fairy, you might like him, but the Oki's not as good. Like, I want to say there's multiple energies of Fairy. Of some people want Dhalsim, some people want Scummy, and some people just want Oki, right? So if you pick Fairy for Scum, you don't want to pick Axel because he's not Scummy like that. If you pick Fairy for Oki, you really don't want to pick Axel because he doesn't have Oki like that. But if you like the space control aspect of it, then yeah, and pressure, then yeah. Okay, so we got Ino. This character. Speaking of characters that get fucking destroyed by Axel, here's one. Fucking Ino. So this character is actually super cool, and she's a character I was considering maining when Exert came out. She's one of the 3 characters I was considering maining. The other one is also on the screen. So Ino is she has, instead of a normal run, she has this. She has a hover dash. She has a hover dash. Okay, it goes up like that. She has, so to compensate for her not being able to run, which is a pretty big deal, even if she's air dashing like that, she has really good moves in general, right? So she got this big ass jump H, for example, really big move, great 2S right here, really good move, great 2K, right? This move is good to mash, and her special moves also control pretty large swaths of the screen. So this is like low profile, actually super low profile, I think. Go under stuff, go under stuff. Okay, this is hop over lows and anti-air. This is horizontal, right? So she has a lot of ways to control the screen. And once she's in, the rushdown is out of control because she has a couple of things she could do. So one, she's got this normal jump D. So this is similar to when we talk about Millia, I'll mention it. So just like Millia's bad moon is what enables all her other mix-ups, this jump D is what enables absolutely all her nonsense, because it delays a little bit. So you have this and that, and the opponent just has to deal. And she could reset on you because like this is overhead, it's pretty fast. She has a lot of ways to like alternate how she hits you. It's quite hard to defend, and her combo ability is pretty consistent. They've been doing a good job of making her easier to play over time. So like in XX, it's not that she's hard, like the plan is hard, is that she has I think it's this one, right? So this has a FRC point and is 1 frame FRC, and you have to dash out of it. So that like, if you couldn't do that, you couldn't do her best stuff. So people are like, well, but in Exert, she her combos are still execution difficult, but it's nowhere near as hard just because there's none of the 1 frame shit in the game. She has a bunch of other movement techniques as well to up her mix-up game. She's a mix-up machine. Her neutral, I won't say she's a neutral god really, but she can play neutral pretty well. Her combo ability is pretty good, which is a pretty important thing in the game. So if you like offense and mix-ups, and if you like witches like me, you can fucking play her. We gotta see what additional changes they made to her in Strive, but if you're about that schmicks, then she's here for you. The biggest downside, of course, is some matchups are fucking awful. Some matchups are really bad because the way she moves is too linear. That's her biggest issue. So she does have this to help her out a little bit, but characters like Zato and Axel just destroy her. So then there's Ram. So this character is definitely not the same as Exert. This is the most popular character in the Strive beta, the last Strive beta. So what you do is you have these swords that you can use as buttons. They're on your slash and heavy slash buttons, but you can also get rid of the swords as well. Okay, so you can use them both. You can use the normals to control space, or you can use the swords as a projectile. You can call them back also whenever you want. So the Strive plan is actually pretty simple, especially based off the last beta. You don't actually like use, you mostly just play her normally, and basically all her hits convert into wall break or at least corner. Once you break the wall, you're a super strong character. So she has also super scummy blue RC mix up already. Like she has fuzzies, I think, on the whole cast. So this is the if you're like a versus player, or if you're like the I want to play something cheap, this is who you can play. If you like mid-range control as well, she actually does do that in a pretty good and hard to deal with way. Like the angle she controls is pretty hard to deal with. So we got this character. So this is Leo. This is the content creator character right here. He's a pretty simple character, and let's try to explain him in Strive terms. So the goal is you want to be in this stance in their face. That is your goal. Once you're in this stance in their face, it's party time. This is when he's at his strongest. He's incredibly hard to defend, especially if you haven't played against him. Like if you haven't played against this character, but you played other fighting games, you might think he's like broken, like straight up. People have learned how to deal with him, mostly how to like mitigate this, and then also stop him from getting in the stance in the first place. The difference between Exert and Strive for him is that his normal pressure is not as good, but his back turn is like the same / a little bit better. I heard someone say that this character is for intellectuals. Ain't no fucking way, bro. If you don't feel like spending a lot of time in this game, but you want to beat up your friends, this is who you play. He's pretty simple, and he's He's pretty simple and he's pretty hard to deal with at the same time. Like you have to be pretty good at the game to like stop people from doing this, what he does to you. But if you like rushing people down really hard, if you like schmicks, because he does have mix, but it's like, bro, like you know. Yeah, so in this version, there was a little controversy about him recently, right? About how how much worse he is now. But he can't combo off this in this version. I actually was really confused by this, by the way, when people were like, "Oh my god, he can't combo off this anymore." Like him being able to combo off that was some crazy shit. Like he can't combo off this. He can't combo off this right now. Like what do you mean? You know, our Arxis realized that they fucked up, I think. More than anything else. Yeah, now he gets a knockdown. Like here normally like the defender can do shit, but like now they're just knocked down and they get up with the soft down speed. Okay, let's do Millia. Best character in the game. This is like the only character I even want to talk about. Millia, this character is everything. The real truth actually is you should play literally any character but Millia. I really recommend literally anyone but her. Why? Because she is really, really cheap, but it's not easy. It is not easy, and it might be extremely frustrating. And unlike Chipp, she does not have a DP, so you have to hold that. You have to hold that when shit is getting run. When someone's running it on you really hard, you have to hold that. You have to hold that. This character is she is a lot about her special properties. So her plan, she's another one of these like your goal is simple but getting there is tough type of thing, where your whole goal is to do this. That's what you want. That is what you want. But setting it up, getting to that point is difficult. You have to be able to navigate the opponent's ranges by using your speed and using moves that characters that are this fast should not have. She got this taken away from her, which made everyone freak out. But she has a new move called Capel, where she hops off a rose that has like, it's not the same, but it alters your air momentum. I was using it to like just kind of make people not know where I was gonna land, where I was gonna go in the air, because where all the other characters have that little symbol that they hop off of, she hops off a rose and doesn't move the way she would normally move. So she is about navigating around ranges and then knocking people down and running the Oki. You have to plan this all by character, just like everyone else, but hers tends to be more specific than that. If you really want to play her, but just understand that the path to making everyone hate you is way longer than it looks. Because when it's done well, it looks really easy, but trust that person put a lot of effort into doing that. Anji. So I've been hearing people call him a gorilla basically all day, which I want to put a little respect on Anji's name. I don't really consider him a gorilla. Really? It might be because Millia doesn't have to deal with that stuff though. But he has a guard point. It's probably like one of his main things is that he has a guard point with the varied follow-ups. Reminder that guard point is different than armor. So armor, you're literally tanking the hits. The guard point is like you hit it, but the game treats it as blocking straight up. He's pretty mobile too. A bunch of his moves have guard point applied, so like when you fight him, you have to like pick the opposite of what you think he's gonna do. And also his knockdown is not bad. He has a pretty simple, especially compared to Millia, like a pretty simple way of setting up his mix-ups in the butterfly, which they did give him. So definitely expect some mid-screen knockdown into butterfly shenanigans from him. The other thing about him too, because we haven't seen him in Strive yet, is that he's able to travel around the screen in a pretty, I want to say a surprisingly floaty way, because his super jump, his dash super jump especially, he just goes flying. They just said that they made jumps, dash jumps, and air dashes shorter, so I want to see how they apply that to Anji. So I kind of want to say, if you're going to call Leo a gorilla, I guess you can call him a gorilla, but like, you're guessing where to put the armor on in neutral with him, where Leo, your goal is to either get the cross up hit straight up, or like knock them down and back turn and then run that. Because once Leo's back turn, it's over. Nagoriyuki, aka Darius Rose. I heard someone call him Darius Rose. Great nickname for him. So he is the Slayer replacement. So if you played BlazBlue, he's like, he reminds me a little bit of Hakumen. He can cancel special moves into special moves. He has really big normals. He's actually like Potemkin too, in that he doesn't have the same movement options that everyone else has. So his movement is more limited than everyone else. Huge emphasis on huge normals, but they also have a lot of recovery. He's a character that's new to this game. So usually a nice thing for getting into GG is playing characters that are new, because then the boomers won't know how to fight them. But while I think he's easy to play, I don't think he's easy to win with. He's kind of clunky. It seems like they're kind of figuring out like what to give him. But if you like this type of big normals, high risk, high return character, then he's definitely for you. One of the things that would be hard for a new Nagoriyuki player is that I feel like his health is kind of a resource, because it's just hard for him to get in. You know, but once he's in there, he does mad damage. He converts off mostly everything. He is really good at pumping out damage when she hits you. So we saved the second best for last. It's Giovanna, who people lazily call the jam replacement, but I actually would not call that. I actually would not call her that. She's the other brown waifu that we are blessed with. So she's a pretty interesting character. I remember people saying in the first beta that she is too simple. She doesn't have enough special moves, which is always a weird thing to hear from people. She doesn't have enough special moves. So her character concept is playing around. She plays around the core Guilty Gear neutral concept because of her dash, her sliding dash. So she's able to play outside of just outside of where a lot of characters can play, and she can slide in there between her air dash, her dash jump. So just like I mentioned that Anji has a really good dash super jump, she has a really good dash jump. She has a good air dash arc, and she has that sliding dash as well. So she's able to play like long stretches of space, like explode into those spots. Her pressure, she has a pretty good conditioning game, and she does have some good setups, some good Oki setups that people already found. She also, and probably like her other main standout thing, is that she builds so much fucking meter. I guess I would have felt this more from Potemkin, for example, if it wasn't for how his games just go. But once she breaks the wall, so like, here's an example. So if you play a character that has like low meter gain, like a Millia Chipp, you can expect to get like maybe 100 to 150 meter per round, depending on how the round goes. Where Giovanna, you can reliably expect to go through like 200, 250 meters. So like 4 or 5 usage of 50 meter compared to most characters 1 or 2 or sometimes 3. And she has a lot of usage for meter compared to other characters. She has the dive kick super. She has spiral arrow, so the Kami move. So with 50 meter, that's just an in. She has a lot of ways to use these to like get in on the opponent. So especially if you thought, since she can't like run and micro position herself very well, that she might be hard. Nah, it's gonna be okay. Especially because she has all that meter, and she turns into Shrek, and she gets a little defense buff too when she has all that meter, when she's sitting on all that meter. Okay. That was a lot. Any questions?